Hi, I'm Kenton, and this is Kenton Knows. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a recent residential 2-unit property purchase, which, by the way, was incredibly more complicated than it should have been. The property is on the east side of the Pilsen neighborhood in Chicago at 1946 South Canalport. It was listed on the Multiple Listing Service, or MLS, on December 18th, 2018, but the agent wasn't able to show it to me until the 27th due to some tenant issues. I later learned that this property was actually seized by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, and everything would need court approval, which made the deal a little more problematic than a normal transaction. On December 28th, the day after I saw the property, I submitted an all-cash offer of $380,000. It was listed at $384,000, and I knew there were many other offers, so I wasn't too optimistic that I would even get a response back. Luckily, the agent and attorney decided to go with my offer, but they needed court approval to accept it. On January 19th, 2019, I learned that the first floor was rented month to month at $1,050, and the second floor had a lease through July 31st, 2019 at $1,950. The listing had no lease information, so I had made my original offer based on the agent's verbal assumption that the tenants were month to month. Over the next few days, I also learned that I would need to pay all transfer taxes and closing costs, of which some would normally be the seller's responsibility, and I'd need to sign an addendum agreeing to it. With the new information of lower rents and additional costs, I revised my offer down to $352,000 and signed the addendum on January 23rd, 2019. The court and attorney could not get clear title and kept delaying the closing until they received court approval to close on April 30th of 2019. During that time, I was able to secure a mortgage and get the tenant contact information. I reached out to the tenants directly for more information about their leases, and a few days before closing, I learned that the first floor unit had proof of a security deposit of $1,050 that the landlord was holding and the seller was not aware was owed to the tenant. At the closing, the title company informed me that the seller had not correctly paid all the back taxes, and the seller's attorney was unaware of the security deposit. This was contrary to our signed contract, and if I wanted to close that day, I had to come up with another $3,800, or the seller's attorney said it would take another couple of months to get the court to approve the changes for these items. So I could close with the seller's numbers the court had already approved, or wait for the court to approve the changes, which would probably be another 2 months. I quickly weighed my options. I knew this was a great investment, and I also thought that I would be making about $1,000 per month after I stabilized the property. The added $3,800 wouldn't kill it on my end, but I also knew that if I walked away now, I might not get the deal done, I'd have to pay my attorney more, I'd lose several critical summer months, and I'd lose the money I spent on the appraisal for the loan. Even though I offered cash, I still preferred a loan, as I'd rather not have my cash tied up if I could get a loan, and we clearly had plenty of time. I did have the cash as a backup in case the loan wasn't ready. Knowing all of this, plus the need to replace the first floor tenant, clean up the unit, and get a new tenant in place for August 1st, which is when I have all my other Pilsen apartment leases start due to the proximity to the University of Illinois at Chicago, I agreed to pay the extra $3,800 to get the deal done that day. Since I'm a broker with my own company, I was also getting a commission of $8,425 for buying the property, which also helped make this decision a little easier. After all of these surprises on the day of closing, I finally closed on the property. Since it was the last day of April, I drove to the property immediately after closing. I presented the first floor tenants with a check to return their security deposit of $1,050 because I don't hold any security deposits in Chicago. Although this was a little painful as it was money out of my pocket, I wasn't going to risk the ramifications of violating a tenant right and being responsible for 3 times the deposit. I also presented them with a notice that I was terminating their month-to-month lease at the end of the following month. I offered them a short-term lease through the end of July at a rate of $1,450 or a nearly 40% increase in rent, which was still way below market. They agreed to the short-term lease, but would not agree to another year at a higher rate, which was completely fine with me, as I knew I'd get even higher rents once I repainted and updated the unit. Here are some pictures of what the first floor unit looked like when I closed. Definitely not in horrible shape, but it also clearly didn't show very well either. The other unit was in much better shape since the tenants were closer to market rent. I didn't need to do much with it. While the tenants were in place, I managed to change the bathroom vanity, some lights, repaired the dishwasher, changed the building locks, cleaned up the exterior of the building, and repainted the rear stairs. The second floor renewed with an increase to $1,980 per month. I then started showing the first floor and was able to find a new tenant willing to sign a lease for $1,600, and they also gave me 3 days to update the unit before moving in. As soon as the old tenant moved out, I was there with a few people to get the unit turned over. We patched and repainted the entire unit, replaced the ceiling fan, replaced all the window blinds, and cleaned the unit in 2 days. The new tenant was happy and it worked out great. Here are some pictures of the finished unit with the new tenant moved in. After the obligatory 6-month seasoning period after closing, I started the refinance process in November of 2019. The property appraised at $509,000, so I was able to do a 70% loan to value or LTV cash out and got a new 30-year fixed loan at 4.125%. At this point, I had none of my own money in the deal, and my rents were $1,980 and $1,600. Again, after owning the property for about 7 months, I had no money in the property, $150,000 in equity, and it was profitable before depreciation or any other tax benefits. So, although the building cash flow is lower than my other properties, it is still a solid investment. I have 2 4-unit buildings within a few blocks of this one, so I was fairly certain of the rents I could achieve, and it wouldn't be out of my way to get to, which made the deal a lot less risky for me. Now, in October of 2020, here are the numbers. Loan amount, $352,000. Value, approximately $509,000 or maybe a little more. Total equity, $157,000. Income, $3,750 per month. Expenses, $2,866 a month, which includes mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, normal maintenance, and repairs. So the net income is $884 per month, plus a little over $500 per month going towards principal. But with depreciation and other expenses, it's unlikely I'll pay taxes on this income for several years due to the tax deductions. So that's my latest investment. I'm currently looking for more opportunities and have a feeling there may be some opportunities next year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you might consider subscribing and clicking on the bell. Please like the video and leave me any comments you might have as well. Thank you for watching Kenton Knows.